In this corner is just a jaw-dropping Ferrari 250 SWB. On car traction, we are once again at the Bicester Heritage Centre, but today is the fantastic Flywheel event, which sees all sorts of old planes, old classic cars, such as this fantastic Austin Healey 3000, complete with a tasty pair of side pipes coming out of there. But yeah, there's going to be also a few rally car demonstrations maybe over there, which we will have a look at. But I think first of all, let's have a little look around the Classic Car Club section and see what we can find. Well, it's only early in the day, but there's lots of lovely classic cars here in the club. Mark 1 MX-5, a fantastic little Alfa Romeo. Doesn't that look absolutely lovely? With the sort of road rally, maybe a bit of hill climb treatment in there. There's a Triumph TR3 just beyond that as well. Over here, standard Vanguard Estate, fantastic. Very practical old classic car. I've seen that one a few times before. A Lotus Elan Plus 2 over here in a very lovely blue. I like the look of that. A Ford Thunderbird. Next to that, nice to see something pre-war. This maybe looks like an Alvis, a 4-seat saloon car. This one, lovely bits of brass all around the front on this one. Really like that. The first pre-war car of today. Nice cast iron registration plates as well on the front. One thing I like about these old Alvises is they have the sort of tilted split screen windscreen, so it actually comes out and it makes for a very nice little dashboard setup. But yeah, really nice little car. That next to the very, very different Ford Thunderbird. Immaculate car, this one. Another little gem in this section is this absolutely beautiful Gordon Keeble. Isn't that just stunning, isn't it? Very rare sort of 50s, well, probably more 60s British GT car. It's an automatic gearbox, probably 3-speed if I had to guess, but very rare. Perhaps a bit of Lancia. It looks a bit like a Lancia perhaps, just a bit larger, but absolutely beautiful car. They're so rare as well. Definitely like that. We'll be seeing lots more sort of rare and obscure classic British sports cars here, because Bicester Heritage is the perfect place to see all of them. There's an Audi Quattro over there, a fantastic old Lotus Esprit here. Very cool looking car these, aren't they? Another very rare little car is this Peugeot 309, but not just any Peugeot 309 or a GTI. This is the Goodwood Edition GTI, an extremely rare car that is. This corner is a very sharp looking Datsun 240Z. Really like those. One of the first sort of real JDM cars, isn't it? Very early 70s. Similar era is this DBS here. This is a V8 car. Some of the first of these were a straight 6, but I believe pretty quickly they changed to the V8. And this is very rare, being a manual car. No 3-speed autos here. I believe that's a 5-speed manual gearbox, which is quite a rare variant for this car. A lot of these would have been auto. Some more lovely classic British sports cars over here. Actually more GT cars. Let's go with that. Jensen Interceptor, very cool. And this is just absolutely beautiful. Not a DB5, but this is a DB4. I actually prefer the design of the DB4 probably, because its main difference really from an outside point of view is the sort of open lens. I think they're meant to be called lamps at the front, as the likes of sort of DB5 and DB6. They would have had lens covers over them, but I actually think the DB4 looks a bit sharper, but I still wouldn't say no to a DB5. Beyond that is a very early Saab from 1959. This is a very early car, 2-stroke. Wow. Little 3-cylinder 2-stroke engine under their very loud and revvy engine. This is a 93B. It says this car. This is also a Daimler SP250 Dart over there. This looks really sharp in sort of red and black, doesn't it? I really like this one. Well, here are all the rally cars just about to go out to their demonstration, and I'm intrigued by this. Something lovely and pre-war. Sounded fantastic. I heard it running earlier. Let's have a look around the front. Lagonda. That is absolutely stunning, and that'll be a beautiful sounding car. Now here's the little Riley Sprite, I believe these are called. Very pretty little cars.
One of their flagship models, but particular cars came in various different body styles, and nowadays things. And are we going to see you
He went for it, fair play.
Period run by Jaguar cars around
Making that car work.
I tell you what, you know, these guys might run different companies. We now get so much about it's not and they started when they were 5. Beginner off the floor. The workshop, you can see it's glass-walled workshop, so when you're having a wander round, you can look inside. And it just makes a glorious sight and sound as well. So about 15% longer than a standard garage, because they would have had a straight 8, so that's really strong. Nice straight 8 garage, chassis, what's your chassis? At one point held the world land speed record, the last time the land speed record was ever set on a public road. And then the relationship further entry, so that accounted for a little bit of delay for the aircraft, although I was absolutely wrong, that car. That's it. And it just smells and sounds so wonderful, as well as pretty gorgeous. It's almost 100 years old, this thing, you know. And you know, this is the remarkable thing, isn't it? That we're still getting we had some of it on, Would you like to own one of these GT4 Caymans? I thanks to Porsche Cars GT, I have had a go. Who's driving that thing? It's completely silent. Not John, because he's got it completely so you can imagine the wall of death only slightly larger. That's what they would be racing on now. Well, I think that race was Bicester, and no, it certainly wasn't a big. We're not. This is, yeah, it's an ex-Sterling Moss side, we won the 19th. Wide, so it's proper lights, aerodynamics, all that sort of stuff. This car's found by much more familiar sight, but it was one of the early rotary engine cars. We talked about them all, as we were last week. Technology range all the way through the wall. Yeah, and that Spitfire is pretty well unique among those fighter aircraft, along with the 109. It started the war, and versions of it were still in use after 5 years, and was discovered a few years ago and restored, now 90 years old. This car though has a bit of a on the C-Type, so journalists as well, Tommy was on his right hand, also well known. The development of the project that has become Bicester Heritage. Yeah, definitely we were.
Yak here. Sorry? This yak. It's built in the 90s.
Over here is an absolutely stunning old Alvis. This is a 1936 car. A little bit of information on it. It's a saloon. Crested Eagle Charlesworth 4-door is the name of this car. It's quite a mouthful, isn't it? It looks Bentley in its style. It's absolutely stunning, especially for an Alvis. That is lovely.
Coming off, yes, X-ray movements, straight back into the back of the kid. It's like the kid who turns up twice in the school photo. Yeah. So, quite a big car, wearing the number 100 to... Yeah, no, that's the traditional flag waver. Actually, no. That was impressive. That's not the same C-Type, is it? That is something entirely different. There's going to be a Yankee in mine as well. That's where we've got to. Parallel, it's got a got a Cadillac engine in, and husband Tony races this car regularly, and he told me this morning it's been particularly happy the way it's been going this season.
Yes, it is a real one. This is an absolutely stunning original Cobra. This is fantastic. I think this even predates some of the 289 cars. It's absolutely lovely, that, isn't it? I definitely prefer the look of the 289s, just a little bit more subtle and a bit more related to the likes of the AC Ace that started it all. Over in this corner we have some of the cars that were demonstrating earlier, such as the absolutely amazing Farolac Allard. Farolac, so it's Allard body, I presume, and then a Cadillac engine. Huge rear rumble coming out, there's side pipes there. Really sort of mad car, this one. The stuff we're seeing here today is absolutely incredible. I can't quite remember what that car's called. It's a Jaguar XJR12, I want to say. Or is it a 30? Oh, I don't know. I'll have to ask Dad on that one. And now here's another absolutely beautiful car. This is an HWM car. You can just see the body here. I believe this had a V8 engine in it. Once again, side pipes. Absolutely beautiful sounding car. We just saw it a few minutes ago, ragging around the demonstration, and it spent far more time sideways than going straight. Absolutely beautifully driven. These sort of cars, you need to sort of be sliding them all on edge, all arms and elbows to really get anywhere quick with them, but this is just absolutely fantastic. Looks more like an Aston Martin, but HWM, a much more obscure manufacturer. They also made Grand Prix cars, I believe. Stunning bit of kit, that, isn't it? Just to confirm, that Jag we saw going past was an XJR15. Over here is a Ford Falcon Sprint, I believe this one is. Sort of thing we'd see at Goodwood. I mean, this is on par with Goodwood. We're having a fantastic day here. All sorts of lovely cars as we speak. Still drifting around the demonstration bit, but we've got to have a look at some of the static displays, haven't we? Because we can't just do the whole video there. We also got the Bentley and a Morgan, quite a throaty sounding Morgan actually, perhaps a more of an original racing car. And here's the Bentley, a couple of Model Ts. I love these Model T specials, they're just great, aren't they? And a Turner 950 Sport, one of only 170, this is from 58. Once again, a very much more of an obscure little British racing car. Over here is the Bentley stand. This really is such a great event. There's so much here, from sort of the Lost in Sevens to stuff like this. Just look at that D-Type over there. Looks fantastic in front of the old hangar. That is just beautiful, isn't it? Could we take a moment to contemplate what on earth is going on here? There seems to be a Citroen Saxo getting ragged in a field. It's always interesting to have a little look around the public car park. Actually, we've got a prancing moose sticker on the side of this modern Volvo. There's always a couple of nice classics in here, just casually. Triumph TR5, lovely. And beyond the 1 Series this is one of my favourite pre-war cars, an Alvis Speed 20 from 1936. For sale, and there's the number. This is absolutely beautiful car. Really nice and red and black two-tone. One of my favourite pre-war cars for sure. Big straight six up front. Very lovely sounding engine. If it were me, I'd lose the little indicators there, but that's just me. It's just stunning car, isn't it? A couple of Jags over here, XJS, and a very sharp looking Series 1 E-Type, quite a late Series 1. And over here, well, you hardly ever see 1 and then 2 pop up. There's another Gordon Keeble over here. This is such a rare sighting. This is a manual car actually, so perhaps a little bit more desirable. But yeah, what are the chances of seeing 2 here? Wow, these are super rare cars, as I said when I was looking at the other one. It'd be good to have them parked together, but I bet the other Keeble owner in the show doesn't even know that this is here. Beautiful colour as well. Really Lancia-esque styling. It might be Pininfarina, I don't really know. Please let me know in the comments if you've got anything to say about any of the stunning, lovely cars here today. And please do let me know in the comments. And just over there is a very bright and cheerful Alvis Grey Lady. Another public car park fight. Oh, there's some lovely stuff over here. Sorry about that. Got a Pagoda here, 280 probably, automatic. Absolutely beautiful, but this has to be one of the best public car park finds I've ever seen. The Jaguar XK120. This is the racer body. They had the sort of Tourer, the racer type, and then the fixed head. This is probably my favourite. A very early car, 4-speed manual. This is quite a find for the public car park, isn't it? Wow, that is pretty tasty. Next to an equally lovely Series 1 E-Type. Some beautiful finds over here. There's a Bristol over there as well. An MGA over there. And an MG in a very similar colour to the likes of Grandad's, really, isn't it? Is this Harvest Gold maybe as well? Very similar era. This has got the same badging at the back, I want to say. Maybe, maybe not. It's also the stainless exhaust on this one. But yeah, very interesting car. Over here is not any Sierra, but an RS500 Cosworth in the public car park. We're seeing some amazing finds here today. Wow, people would be all over that if it was in the show. But no, in the public car park. But luckily, you guys who are watching, you do get to see these things. Like the RS500 and the lovely Jags and Mercedes over there. Something very low slung over here, perhaps a little Cooper or Lotus just in the public car park. We're seeing some fantastic little cars just in the public car park. That is gorgeous, probably 50s 2-seat racer. Absolutely brilliant next to a little Westfield. Lovely colour as well, almost a Curiosity blue, the likes of the sort of C-Type Jaguars, but on a very different and cute little car. I really like that. Yet another Series 1 E-Type. And another Series 1 E-Type. Another very lovely car in my opinion. Something a bit more modern but still very nice is this Vanquish Aston Martin. I think these are a really lovely looking car. And it is a manual transmission. How rare is that for a sort of Aston Martin nowadays? Really sharp looking car and being manual as well. Be a proper driver's car, that. Beautiful old Alpine racing car. Really wacky body on that, isn't it? That's just fantastic, isn't it? You can see the big intakes at the back because these will be rear or mid-engined. I don't know which one it counts as, but that is quite a spectacular car next to the newer Alpine racing car. There's a GT4 RS Porsche over here, and a very lovely old Bristol. That is absolutely beautiful, isn't it? And while this is definitely a bit of me, these are some of the big old, so maybe aero-engined pre-war racing cars we saw going round earlier. Look at the size of that exhaust as well, wow. Really bare interiors in these. Menasco Pirate, that's what this car's called. Really leery.
I wasn't sure.
4 sets of carburetors and there, wow. It's a really incredible car. And then we got a Delage over here, saw this one also going around. Once again, massive carburetors on the side, this time just the 3. Love where the paint's worn away from the exhaust. That's just a really nice effect. This is my favourite section so far. I think that lovely Bristol, the Menasco and this Delage, really just incredible cars. This is definitely an aero-engine car. You can see the huge 2 banks, the huge cam covers, probably some of the largest that I've ever seen. Yeah, really just incredible. Some of these pre-war specials, just it's all about power really, isn't it? Huge tyres at the back as well, just really incredible car. And something a little bit more normal is this MGB over here. There's another Delage over here. This is a slightly sort of smaller car. This is a Hispano Suiza V8 engine car, 12 litre V8 in this one. Incredible. This is probably one of the better handling cars actually in period, because it's just that little bit smaller than the 2 aero-engine cars over there. Open exhaust, there's no silencing whatsoever there. They're coming right off the manifold, which is, I haven't seen that before actually. That's probably an aero engine actually in itself. The 2 huge banks, a 4-cylinder each, making it a V8. Here's the C-Type over here. This is Sterling Moss's car. He raced this in period. Beautiful sounding car and looking car. Really like that. That's one of my favourites. And a lovely XK120 in this corner. Lovely Mark II Jaguar over here in sort of race road rally prep. Fiat 500. There's the classic performance engineering. It's a bit crowded in there, but they basically do all the tuning for all sorts of lovely old racing cars, which is pretty much my dream job, I'm not going to lie. And here's a very tasty looking Mark I Jaguar XJ fire tender from Silverstone. It's a V12. Wow, this is a really interesting car, being a V12 especially. Hold on, is that a manual gearbox in this one? I'm just looking, I'm not sure that is that. Oh, I don't know, is that a manual gearbox or is that because these were, is it yeah, because all these would have been auto originally with the 5.3 V12, but this has been converted to manual, being a sort of race circuit fire engine, and that would be an incredible car because it's an amazing engine, really not economical at all, but matched to a manual gearbox, that would be quite a special car to drive. If anyone's seen the likes of Harry's Garage, alright, his is extremely tuned up and no expense spared, but he's got a manual XJC V12, which is the Mark II, and that sounds fantastic. But even just a manual with a standard engine, that is a really special car. Beyond that is a race prep Capri, that looks quite special as well. This is why I love the Flywheel so much. Just casually here is a Bizzerini racing car, absolutely stunning, and a long nose D-Type. This is just fantastic, isn't it? Hardly ever get the chance to get up close to the likes of the D-Type, especially the long nose with this sort of faired fin behind the driver and the slightly longer front. We can't see it, but here's the lovely straight six engine, all open carbs, very lovely intake noise and noise coming out the back. Huge steel wheels on these cars, just a really gorgeous racing car, very much my sort of thing. It's quite easy for me to say that. And the Bizzerini over there is a bit of an oddball. Don't see anything like that racing ever, really. The D-Type is just quintessentially British Le Mans car. Just absolutely fantastic to see. Over there is an XK150 and a Morgan and an XJR15. Absolutely incredible car. I much prefer these to the likes of the XJ220, but that's just a personal opinion. The car that never was really is a Cobra racing car. A brilliant old Bentley. These look good, sort of slightly scruffy, don't they? Well, this is not scruffy at all, but I mean slightly sort of matted and patinated. It just suits them so well, I think. And here's an absolutely beautiful Mark 1 Jaguar. Not a Mark 2, but a Mark 1 with the 3.4 and slightly smaller windows, larger door pillars, different interior as well. I probably prefer the Mark 1. Nice side pipes at the back of this example as well. Really spectacular car, that. Always some beautiful cars and fire engines. Here, MG Magnet. This is a ZB, I want to say, with a larger rear windscreen. This has had a bit of an interior change in this car. A few bits going around this one. Lovely colour in the baby blue, actually. Really lovely sort of sports saloon of its day, the Magnets. Very lovely Model A Ford 3.4 litre 4-cylinder in these. Beautiful patinated car. MGC over here with the straight 6, a little Austin 7 based racer. I wonder if this perhaps another Austin. Yeah, this is another Austin 7. That's a gorgeous Cobra over there. We saw that one earlier. Unfortunately, we actually didn't see it go around the track, so if we're lucky, we might be able to see it going around the track. Another lovely Austin based racer. These are gorgeous, aren't they? And here's the 747cc Austin 7 engine. Very tunable little engine. So many of these are used in the likes of VSCC, rallies, trialling and hill climbs. Really great sort of beginner racing car. As are these lovely little specials. Here's the wonderful Cobra, really early car. It's actually got Dennis Paul's name on the back of it, ironically. And here's a Ford GT40. In the iconic Gulf Le Mans livery. Here we are at the Blue Diamond business here. We've got a Riley just in for a bit of bodywork. Here a lovely, I can't remember what these are called, the body shape. If anyone does know, please do let me know in the comments. It's not the Monaco, because that, is it Kestrel maybe? I'm not quite sure. Please do let me know in the comments, because I know the name for these fastbacks, but I just can't quite remember it. And they're one of my favourite sort of body styles on these old Rileys. Many of the cars here, such as this Riley Brooklands, will have a pre-selector style of gearbox. Watch this not have a pre-selector. Okay, yeah, not this one. This one just has a 4-speed, but that one especially, perhaps like when they get raced, they do take the pre-selectors off, because it is a bit of a strange system, but that is a pre-selector car, as were many other pre-war Rileys. It's really great sort of hill climb racing car, these, aren't they? Here's a very lovely Alvis. Looks like it's been trialled fairly recently, judging by the mud on the rear arches. Lovely pre-war car, lots of timing gear in the dash as well, which would suggest some form of motorsport. There's another lovely Riley here. Really pretty bodies on these, aren't they? It's more louvers than bonnet with this car, isn't it? Really lovely front. Louvers just look great. And yet another wonderful pre-war Riley on the end here. And another motorsport, but a bit of an oddball car, is this fantastic old Renault 12 Gordini. Really fascinating little car. Lovely old Lagonda over here, perhaps a Lagonda Rapier or something of that ilk. Beautiful pre-war sports car, really lovely that. The Rapier, I believe, having a 4-cylinder, so the slightly smaller variant to the larger car. I want to say that, I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure. Beautiful example here. In this corner is just a jaw-dropping Ferrari 250 SWB, the shorter wheelbase, that's what it stands for, you guessed it. I'm pretty sure this is a genuine car. It's absolutely beautiful, isn't it? The 250 V12 up front there. 250, I believe, refers to the size of each cylinder bore, I think. If anyone can do 250 times 12 quickly in their head, it should add up to about 3 litres, I think. The 275 was a 3.3, and the 250, the slightly more iconic and well-known design, is a 3-litre V12 engine. The Barani knockoff wires, very, very pretty. The large Ferrari exhaust always look fantastic on the back of these cars. Selection of lovely classic racing bikes around here. There's the Flying Milliard, Alan Milliard's creation, very cool sounding bike, we heard it earlier. A Douglas, an Excelsior, and a fantastic racing AJS, really like the old AJS's. It's just a brilliant looking bike. Slightly more modern Honda, a Moto Guzzi here next to a racing Honda. Some beautiful bikes here today. There's a Veloz set in the corner, Dad will like that one. And a Matchless here, very lovely. A couple of Nortons, this says it's a Works Norton in gleaming condition. These just look fantastic all together, don't they? Over here is the Little Car Company, yes that's what it's called, who makes sort of, I think it's about 3/4 size electric models of vintage racing cars, such as the Bugattis on show here. We also saw the Ferrari 250 TR and I believe an Aston Martin going around earlier. Very cool little creations. Here's a fantastic oily rag Alvis. I'd imagine this is a 6-cylinder car. Really lovely condition, really suits it in this oily rag condition. Lovely Alvis specialised lamps as well, just really, really nice condition, this one. Now we've got the fantastic pre-war car dealer here. There's always some form of lovely stuff at the motor shed. Here, the Sunbeam Talbot, that's one of the favourites of mine. All sorts of lovely cars in the shed as well. Haven't seen the Sunbeam Talbot here before. We've been here for a couple of the likes of the Scramble events. We've seen that Clino just peeking through there before. Sorts of lovely pre-war cars here, including this very interesting little car. It's an Opel Kadett. This one, fascinating little car. Quite similar to the likes of the Ford Pop in my opinion. Little Trico, semaphore indicators on the side. Very primitive, but a bit of a left field choice for the likes of pre-war style motoring. I'd say this is probably 40s, maybe 50s, but it would be very similar to the likes of driving a pre-war car. It's also a lovely BSA just behind there. Alvis. What is this on the end? A really chunky old Humber. Here we are on the inside of the motor shed. There's lots of sort of similar cars that we've seen here last time. The Javelin on the end, very interesting little car. Always thought they looked a little bit like a Jaguar K120, but one interesting thing with these is the whole bonnet lifts off, I believe. Peeking around here, another lovely Alvis. Haven't seen that car here before. A couple of Renault NNs. Over there, there's a lovely Humber Tourer over there, that big one. Some lovely pre-war cars here. Here's the Clino. Over here is a little radical racing car. These have their own little racing series that provides actually very entertaining racing. They often are a support category for the likes of the BTCC meetings. There's a bit of a crowd over there. There's also an Austin 7 Chummy. Something loud has started up. Let's go and have a little peek. A couple of rally cars here as well. An Escort RS Turbo. A DB, is it 6 perhaps, Volante. Very lovely. What's everyone crowding around? I think it's a Mustang. We'll have to wait to see. Yes, it is. There we are. The distinctive nose of a Mustang popping through. Well, that's a popular car, isn't it? Look, everyone crowding around. Certainly a crowd pleaser. Sounds the part as well.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you appreciate that.
Another little wonderful section here at the Flywheel at Bicester Heritage. Here's the lovely Bristol again, unless there's one absolutely identical. Really graceful car that. Lancia Fulvia, really pretty car. An Alvis TE21, a very interesting looking little Austin 7. There's also a DB2 convertible over here. That's a really rare car. Some of these cars, if not all of them, are also available for sale at the Motor Shed. Here is the lovely MG K3. This is a replica, I think, but this is a stunning car, isn't it? There's a supercharger, carburetor fed, just under there. One of the much rarer variants than the likes of the smaller MGs that we saw inside the shed. That is just absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Here is another fantastic little MG hill climb special, perhaps. Revs to 8,000. These MGs are always very loud, very revvy little engines. This is a bit of a sort of motorsport section, isn't it? Gorgeous little cars, aren't they? The Austin 7 special and the lovely Riley special. Almost looks a bit like a shrunken ERA. I know that in ERAs there was a fair bit of Riley DNA, but this is just a little bit smaller, I think, this car. But just a really lovely example again. Really like some of these earlier cars. There's a Model T special we saw going around the demonstration earlier. A Morris Cowley racing car. It's a bit of a sort of land speed record streamlined body, isn't it? That's very cool actually. And a little Austin 7 just over there, looking very low and sporty. Another beautiful little race car over here. I believe this is a Maserati. This car, wow, that is lovely, isn't it? This is a Maserati A6 GCS Monofaro. This one, isn't that just a beautiful little car? Also got the first of our veteran cars here today, just over there. That is lovely. I think that is a really gorgeous little car. Very lovely indeed. Over here is a Shelby Daytona Coupe, the Le Mans evolution of the Cobra just over there. Also another beautiful long-nosed D-Type over here. No, it's not the same car. This is definitely a different car. Great to see them here today. Fantastic bit of kit, aren't they? Seem to be set for the McLaren F1 over there. That's quite an interesting car.
See that here today.
All these little Dion Bouton tricycles are fascinating little bits of kit. Lovely oily rack on this one, nice white tyres, quite an early designer tyre. These are lovely, aren't they? I think we're going to start making our way back over to the demonstration area, past the gorgeous Type 35 Bugatti and the Bristol. Well, I think we'll end this video just about here with this couple of Jeeps and the lovely Austin Tilly just over here. Very nice military vehicle. Demonstrations are starting to thin out, and we've already had a look around all the old aircraft and classic car goodness in the actual Bicester Heritage Centre itself. It's been a great do. I thought the scramble was good, but the Flywheel is just a great event. There's classic cars, planes, and the demonstrations really do make it sort of really quite a good place to go. So I definitely would recommend. If you do like this, please do let me know in the comments what you thought of any of the cars here, what you thought of my videoing. And that's about it. Remember to sub and all that. Thanks for watching.
But it's also about him clearly built for enthusiastic